Nationalist or globalist? Individuals or the collective? Humankind tries to emulate in-game how real-world governments work. And today, that's what this video is going to be about. Hi guys, I'm Pacific Casual Gamer and welcome to another video. This one, I want to talk about the ideology system of Humankind and give you an entire detailed run-through. The last video I made, the research quarter video, you guys really responded well to, so I'm going to do it like this one where I'm going to put the chapters down below. So if there is something you don't understand and you don't want to sit through a giant long-ass YouTube video explaining things you know, you just want the bit, look down in the description, figure it out. So to get started, what are ideologies? Well, if you play Humankind, you'll notice that maybe when you make a decision, there's a little light bulb, there's a little candlestick or a little flag thing. That's ideologies. When you make decisions on civics and events in this game, there's this little ideology axis and it goes back and forth, right? In the middle of all the ideology axis, you get 10 plus stability on your cities. But if you look a bit deeper, you'll notice that if you pick a bunch of, let's just say, religiously weighted things, so you more of traditionalist society, you start to veer away from the middle of the road and you start to veer towards a stronger religious presence. And you know, being in the middle of the road is fine too because you get stability bonus. So regardless, you're getting some sort of bonus to your empire if you decide, well, this is what I decide. Sometimes I play a game where I don't build a lot of emblematic districts, so that's the special districts, and you know, making my ideology liberty, it doesn't help because I get an influence in emblematic districts, but I don't have any of them. And the other way, which is authoritarian, I just get visibility on garrisons and districts. Like, I don't want that. I don't care. So I take the stability bonus. One thing that's kind of cool is city-states have ideologies as well. So they'll like you more if you think like them. It's literally the Soviet Russia tactic of like, well, the Eastern Bloc of Europe's communist, so we're all gonna band together and be communist buddies. It's literally the same concept. However, if you pick an aesthete civilization, the ones that get influence bonuses, this doesn't apply to you. The more different you are to an empire, if you declare war on them, your war support drains slower. If you're similar, right? Like if a modern day United States versus declared war on England, I know as Americans, we would probably not support that war as fast, you know, kind of like real life. So in the game, if you're ideologically similar to someone, you're not going to have a good time with war support. So let's start off with the first axis. This is called the economy axis. I just call it the axis of individualism and collectivism. If you decide to go the collectivist route, you get 10% more industry. If you go individualist route, you get 10% more money. And there's spots in the middle where it's like a 5% bonus and 5 stability, and of course the middle's 10. So I wrote down here some civics that are kind of like a strong influence on this one. So the first one is political control. You can put in the state police, which is very collectivist. Religious rights, which you'll probably see in many games. You can either go collectivist or individualist. Land rights, which is a very decisive one because that's the one where you either get more food per attached outpost, or you can pay gold on dealing with outposts rather than influence. That's collectivist or individualist. And then sometimes I get this one, I don't know how it activates, it's industrial production. You can go collectivist or individualist on this one. Now for me, money's never a problem for me. I don't know why. And unless I'm going for mercantile stars, I will always go collectivist. You know, there's some situations where like I just really want money just because, you know, and maybe I'll go individualist for a while. But for the most part, I just stick with collectivism because I like having 10% industry. The gold is nice. 10% gold is nice. 10% industry means things get built at 90%. You only build 90%, right? Sorta, kinda. Basically, that 10% can hopefully shave off a turn or maybe help me build an extra unit when I wasn't supposed to. The next axis is geopolitics. This basically is, are you a country that's isolated or are you a country that likes everybody? Now, if you decide to go the nationalist route, you get 2+% unit strength. And if you decide to go globalist, you get 10% food. Some civics that influence this are censored arts. You can be nationalist if you decide to censor arts. Materials procurement is either nationalist or globalist, and foreign customs is nationalist and globalist. Now 2+ unit strength is very, very, very good in the beginning of the game, right? If you have a warrior, right, or any sort of unit, let's just say the unit's got, I don't know, 20 strength. +2 means it has 10% more strength. That's ridiculous. That's a lot more strength. Now, if you go later into the game where you're starting to get into gunpowder units, they got 50 strength. 2+, that's like 5% more strength. I don't like that. So generally what I'll do is if I'm gonna do a very, 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 very early war, I will try to get full nationalism to get extra unit strength. Otherwise, I'll always be globalist because it's 10% more food. And the more people you have, over time, just the more people you have, the more powerful you will be. The third axis is called government, or the third axis. Basically, you get liberty, means you get more influence on emblematic districts. So those are districts that are, you know, civilization unique. And the other way, which is authoritarian, gives you 2+ vision and detection if you go all the way on all your districts. Some civics that influence this is irregulation, that's both liberty and authoritarian, or religious tolerance is liberty or authoritarian. Now, there's something wrong with the AI right now, and they never, ever, 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 ever use stealth units. So right off the bat, I mean, the detection doesn't even matter for me. And most of the time, I don't need vision on my districts either. Like, it's kind of nice to have, but I genuinely don't need vision because the AI won't like hide units in its territory. It'll stack them up on your border if it's going to go to war with you. So, you know, to be authoritarian, to get that extra vision, it doesn't matter to me. And liberty can be nice. You know, I mean, usually I like to build as many emblematic districts as I can, especially later in the game. So the influence you get can really start to stack up towards, you know, basically the later on you get in the game, the more influence that liberty is going to give you. So it's a really good choice later on in the game. The government axis is the one ideology axis where if I really, 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 really need some stability, like immediately, and I can pull it off, I will sacrifice this ideology axis and keep it in the middle for 10 stability because that can be really strong. The fourth axis is society, and in my opinion, this axis has the most influence on your game, and the most events I feel in the game are related to this. So society is religion versus science. If you go all the way down the tradition route, you get more faith. If you go all the way down progress, you get science. In this game, they cannot kind of get bonuses together from it, if you will. You can't be like a religious and science place the same. I mean, you can just build a bunch of holy sites and research quarters, but you know, ideologically wise, you're one or the other. Some big civics that I wrote down that will affect this is legitimacy, which you get early on in the game, scientific facts, and knowledge authorities. Those all affect you with tradition or progress. And a lot of different events in the game, right? There's always like the river flooding one that can affect it. Usually global warming. I'm trying to think off. These are events that happen that come off the top of my head. Usually there's always a tradition or a progress option in every event. I don't really, like, they're just everywhere. So what I like to think about when it comes to, do I produce more religion or do I produce more science? What do I want in my game, right? Because if I rush down religion, like this is usually what happens, is if I rush down religion, I can get exactly the bonuses I want, which could be the science bonuses, or I get 10% science and I just start cranking out more technology, right? What I like to do is while I'm building my religion, or if I have some sort of strong faith bonus, like Angkor Wat, right? I will go traditionalist. I will do it, you know, just to rush the religion if I'm having problems, if I really want to make sure my religion is dominant. But other than that, I will then go to science. If my religion dies out, I will go to science. There's no point in producing faith at that, you know, unless you have Angkor Wat. Like, what are you gonna do? So that is it. Those are the ideology axes. They're pretty fun to use. I like to tinker with them. You know, they're not impactful. Like, if you just become a traditionalist society, even though you need science, 10% science is not that much. 10% food isn't that much. 10% industry. But they're there, and there are more bonuses that guide you down different decision-making paths, you know, where this happens to me all the time, where I look at my civics, right, and I see there's bonus A and bonus B, right, because that's what civics are. Bonus A is the stronger one, but it ruins my science bonus, right? So I go with option B, because even though it's less so, it keeps me on the path of scientific enlightenment. But I really like this system better than the government system of Civ 6, so it gets a pass for me. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Is it a confusing system for you? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it absolutely awful? Let me know. I'm Civ the Casual Gamer. I suck just as bad as you do at video games, and I'll see y'all in the next one.